enjoying these.
Awesome, welcome everybody. We're excited to have everyone out today. We have a special guest, Grasshopper Goods, and they're a part of the Doyen group. So thanks Heather for being such a great female force in the Madison startup community. And before we get started here, if it's your first time, we're gonna go around and do introductions. We wanna give thanks to our sponsors. We have Derek back there with Field 59. They do a live stream and a video recording of every event. So if you ever aren't able to make it out, you can tune into our live stream. The link is on our website or in our newsletter. And then you can also find all our past presenters' videos on our YouTube channel. So feel free to go back and check those out and see what some of our past presenters have been doing. We also have Old National Bank. They are the suppliers of this awesome coffee from Crescendo. So make sure you have a cup. Thank you. I know I'm grateful. I need to get another cup this morning. I feel like when having a day off has set my whole week off. I'm like, is it Thursday? Is it Tuesday? No, it's Wednesday. And I'm happy to be here. And then we also have this awesome room and equipment thanks to the Madison Public Library, who has been gracious enough to host us. In terms of updates before we get into announcements, we have Venfair Forward Fest coming up. This year, 1 Million Cups is going to be hosting Venfair. It's kind of a way to see the ecosystem and who are the players in the entrepreneurial community. If you're not familiar with Forward Fest, check out their website and mark the dates on your calendar in August. It's going to be a citywide event. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of different things to do and something that will appeal to everyone. Any updates on your end?
Not a ton. Hey everyone, Leah Rowe with Health Bench and Culture Community. Culture Community has an event coming up on June 15th, and we have Sarah Young from Zing Collaborative speaking on the power of developing good habits and accountability in your personal life and in the workplace. So we'll be promoting that actually starting today. So we'll send that out. So if anyone has any questions or wants more information on Culture Community, you can go to our website, culture.community.
How was Africa?
Africa was amazing. Can't wait to tell everyone about it.
Drew Corson from Carrick's Consulting Group. Next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, is a Wisconsin Entrepreneurs Conference put on by the Tech Council. It'll be 2 days of learning everything you need to know to start and grow a business. Rachel and I are both participating as a moderator and a panelist, respectively.
And I'm the co-chair.
She's the co-chair. Man, you always beat me at everything. But yeah, so that's it.
Cool, then why don't we, now that we're done with introductions, we'll go and start over here.
My name is Diana Pastrana. I'm with M&M Office Interiors.
I'm Srinath. I'm with Flow Enterprises.
I'm Hannah. I'm a marketing professional. Alicia Greer with Burnt CPA.
Andrew Gonzalez with Old National Bank.
I'm Brian Davis, also with Old National Bank.
I'm DP Knudden with Collaborator Creative. I work collaboratively and creatively with complicated companies on their marketing and advertising.
He's working with us.
Some very simple companies.
Yeah.
I'm Tom Willis. I'm a software engineering leader, and I do some IP and patent consulting with tech companies.
I'm Dan Anderson with Baker Tilly, and this is Lola, a future entrepreneur.
I'm Dennis Barna with Maryland Mentors. I want to add a little bit about Venfair. It's actually a full-day event called the Badger Startup Summit. It's the inaugural or the initial event of the Forward Fest. 3 parts. In the morning, we talk about various industries and market disruptive industries that are emerging here in the state. In the middle, we have Venfair, which connects you to the various vendors that are out there. They help the entrepreneurial community. And then in the afternoon, we have what's called Pitch and Replay. That's sponsored by Merlin Mentors, and that's where we give people an opportunity to pitch their idea to multiple people and get immediate feedback on the validity of that idea. So the whole day is a very, very good event, of which we finally got somebody to run the Venfair for us, which is so anyway, just wanted to mention that it's a lot of things.
My name is Dominic DeMarco. I'm entrepreneur in residence at QBE, which is a global insurance company nobody has ever heard of in Madison, but their digital innovation lab is just out in Sun Prairie.
Mark Burgum, engineer, and do lots of different bits and pieces all around.
Hello, I'm Brent. I'm with GrowChart.
Will Robis, kind of between stuff right now, so I guess I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up. So thanks.
I'm Heather Wentler. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Doyen. And a small pitch, we have our 5x5x5, which takes place during Forward Fest, and the application closes this Sunday. So if you know of any women-led businesses that could use $5,000 to help move their business forward, please have them go to doyengroup.org and fill out the application.
Dale Willis, co-founder of Curate Solutions. Andrew Buss, I work with Dale at Curate Solutions.
My name is Jeff Ligas. This is my first time here. I just sold my business, so I'm looking for my next opportunity.
Joey Frayne, Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation.
Derek Gebler with Phil 59. We're an online video provider for media companies.
I'm Steve Slatton. I'm a scientist. I do a lot of business development, and I'm here networking.
Laurel, customer success at Akita Box.
Clara, HR manager at Akita Box.
One more announcement about the whole Forward Fest, Better Startup Summit, etc. Nominations for the Wisconsin Innovation Awards are open until tomorrow, I believe. So if you know of any interesting companies doing innovative stuff, just go to the wisconsininnovationawards.com, I think, and there's a nomination form to fill out. It's very simple, and it's great to have as many companies nominated as possible.
Thank you. All right, so I'm Karen Tardrew from Grasshopper Goods, and I am the first mobile boutique in the state that's registered with the American Retail Association, and kind of have a crazy journey, as most entrepreneurs have. So hopefully, this was the first time I've kind of had to put it together to describe what it's like to drink from the fire hose as a new entrepreneur. So hopefully this will make sense, and you guys will be able to ask great questions at the end. So we're the first mobile boutique in the state, and our tagline is "We Hop, You Shop." And I will give you a little bit of background why we're called Grasshopper Goods. It's kind of a funny story. So a funny thing happened to me on the way to the mobile boutique. I've had some strange visitors by some wise grasshoppers along the way. It first occurred in 2011, and I had I've been in education for 30 years, and I had been percolating on owning my own business for a really long time. My family had been encouraging me, and I was taking the path of least resistance for a really long time. And on that trip, my kids kept saying, "You gotta do this, you gotta do this, you've been wanting to do this." And we got to this island on our big celebration trip for our 25th anniversary, and we get to the island, and we jump in this big taxi bus van thing that's supposed to go across the island. And as I get in the front seat, this giant green grasshopper, this is the grasshopper, lands on the windshield, and it's giant, and the Rastafarian taxi driver's like, he's like, green grasshopper, that's super rare, that means glad tidings, good fortune, harbinger of good news. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So, and I was just riding in the front because I get car sick, and we were going across the island. So the taxi driver, we go all the way across the island, and this grasshopper rides with us the whole way, wind on his wings, and he's hanging on. And we get off the taxi, and he jumps off with me. And so I was like, whatever. So the whole trip, my kids are still, young adults just trying to encourage me to do this. And the last day of this trip, there's another grasshopper. So that was sort of the beginning of like, is this a sign? Is like, what's happening with the universe? Like, what's happening? So several years later, that was the beginning. That was the beginning when I have to start to listen to my instinct. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and I had some really kind of cool ideas that I wanted to enact. So several years later, the idea evolved, and my brother helped me by taking a leap of faith and purchasing a 1957 Chevy short bus. And he's like, we're going to do it, because he works in antique car restoration. That's his career, and I'm like, we can collaborate. This is awesome. So we took a total leap of faith. We wired money to some guy in Wyoming that didn't even have a phone number, and we're like, okay, let's hope that this truck actually, or this bus actually comes, because we didn't think that was going to happen. Sure enough, the bus comes on a trailer, and as we're going through the bus, it's full. There's like cobwebs, but there's I was worried there were like rodents or things. Like, how are we going to make this into some kind of retail boutique? There was a grasshopper inside the bus. No joke. Totally alive. There was nothing else in the. And the next morning, that grasshopper was still there. So at that moment, I was just like, okay, we have to move forward on this. So then, since I had all those grasshopper encounters, I really looked at the grasshopper symbolism, which is pretty fascinating. There's a lot of, that taxi driver was right. There's a lot of animal totems and tribal lore about grasshoppers symbolizing messages of glad tidings and harbingers of good news. In certain areas of China, grasshoppers were kept as pets, and they were believed to be family members that had passed away and enduring prosperity. And what's really ironic is sort of the beginning of when I really wanted to follow my dream of starting my own business was when I lost my dad to brain cancer. And so there's all these strange things that are happening. Believe it or not, we just took a leap of faith. And the other thing that's really cool is animal totems of grasshoppers tend to choose innovators who take huge leaps of faith, and they definitely appeal to artists, musicians, and dancers. So, and my journey has really led to supporting artists and makers. So that's kind of what happened. So that's why we're called Grasshopper Goods. And some people are like, grasshopper, that's a gross bug, but no, it's really not. So anyway, what's my background? I come from a family of interesting entrepreneurs. My dad reinvented himself like 3 times. I grew up, he was a hobbyist in car restoration. He stopped counting at about 200 cars. So if I wanted to talk to my dad, I had to go out to the garage. I studied visual arts and trends from a really early age. I did photography, won photography awards for a long time. But my professional career has been in education for 30 years. Started in special education and in the Chicago area, and then ended up getting my EDD, and I've been teaching teachers for 25 years. But why this? Why does this make sense? Well, it's because my research interests have been in alternative representation and imagery and visual things. So a lot of my research for the last 25 years has been on looking at teacher identity, and in particularly using, not paper methods, but art representation to have teachers talk about identity, who they are, talk about teacher isolation. This is a project I did with one of my groups a while back where we created masks of what it's like to be a teacher. So there's a lot of power in the visual, and it reaches all different kinds of people. And I come from a family of artists. My dad that I was talking about, who reinvented himself, he was a math and art major from Lawrence University, ended up being a pilot and then an assessor, and he reinvented himself. Both my brothers are artists, and my daughter just graduated a few years back in studio ceramics. So I kind of have a passion about supporting artists. So why the need for change? Why this weird mobile boutique? Why not bricks and mortar? So there's a lot of market trends related to mobile boutiques, and it's really unusual here, but it's been going on for a good 5 years plus. And right now there's more than 500 mobile fashion boutiques registered in the United States. I'm the first one actually registered in Wisconsin, and then there's already some new innovators already. There's someone that's doing it upcycled, Winnebago. There's also a brand new flower truck that I just saw on Instagram yesterday. So it's a whole new trend. 70% of millennial women consider shopping a form of entertainment and like to do with family and friends. The truck is very, you get inside the truck, you can't help but talk with someone and be connected with someone when you're in. It's a whole different kind of shopping experience. You're touching, feeling. We're trying to get away from that online experience. 92% have said that real-time product availability would influence where they shop. Millennials are more likely to share their location to receive deals from nearby businesses. So it's really about the movement, kind of looking at the maker movement and all the movements that are happening right now to reconnect us and get away from online things. So right now, 10 hours and 39 minutes of our day are spent consuming media. So I think we're really all wanting to touch and feel and be connected. So that was how I started my idea in 2011. So I had worked on this idea, but like I said, I'm in education. I have lots of family business people that have started their own businesses, but I needed, woman support for a woman business and making a change. So after I started my LLC, I joined Doyen and had worked with a really good friend of mine. Is a Doyen Bad board member, and she's known my idea for a long time. And I'm like, this isn't crazy, Sarah, is it? And she's like, no, it's okay. So I joined Doyen, and the big difference for me was attending the strategic planning retreat. It was a game changer for me. After that point, it was like no turning back at that point. Then I hired my creative director, Jen Zutter, who has a lot of retail experience. She's visually gifted, and I needed a partner in crime.
to help me as my first employee to really understand and support my idea because it was a little bit of an outlier. And then after the retreat, it led to me meeting people at WIBIC for my funding, and I was able to get my business loan through WIBIC, the Wisconsin Women's Business Corporation, and they were amazing. So I have they helped me get a small business administration loan and then a business through a loan through WIBIC because to build the truck was a big expense. So the bus, when we brought the bus back, my brother's like 6 foot something, and he's like, you can't stand in this bus. This bus is really cool, but this is not going to work. And he's like, it's going to break down, and it's going to be a pain. And I'm like, he's like, you gotta have, I gotta have a truck that I can count on because that's my business plan. If I can't drive it around, it's not going to work. So my brother actually kept the bus because he loves it so much. But so we found Vinny on the south side of Chicago last spring. It's a 1977 step van, and it used to be a pizza delivery truck. And it's from the 70s, so we named it Vinny after Welcome Back Cotter. That dates me. Sorry. And that's my brother John, who does Beyond Broncos, who does antique car restoration. So we started after my business loan through WIBIC. Part of the agreement with WIBIC for my loan was that I would continue market research this last year. So I did pop-ups so I could start to really hone my price point, my customers, and really partner with businesses and artists. So we did a lot of pop-up research last year. We started in June at Botham Vineyard. Sarah Botham at Botham Inc. and Botham Vineyard has been a huge supporter of the work that we've been doing. So we partnered, this is like crescendo. So Madison businesses have been amazing to partner with us. We've done business pop-ups. So then I can kind of see, what's our good price point and what's our messaging. And originally the idea was really just mobile boutique, and having a connectedness to it. But it really evolved this year and really fine-tuned because of all the things that happened this year. So as I said, I come from a group of makers and artists and family members, and to me, what evolved was this connection and relationship with the artists and the makers. I know every piece of whatever I have in the truck. I have earrings from Ella Zool. This is from Melissa Jenkins. I know every artist's story and how hard it is for them to get the word out. And we partner, we buy wholesale. I'm not doing commission. They are actually making money and selling their things to me. We're spreading the word more than they can. Toast Ceramic, she's busy making all day. She doesn't have time to try to get the word out. So it really evolved in a mission to support these makers and artists. These are Tactile Craftworks. They were one of our first partners. They're leather makers out of Milwaukee. And then we've had to expand. The mission was really Midwest, and we've had to expand beyond the Midwest because if we're at some events, like if we're at the Madison Night Market, some of the artists will be there. We won't carry their stuff at the market, so we're not competing against them. We have to kind of expand beyond that, so we're at local events, they can sell their stuff, but then if we go to Waukesha, we can sell it. So that's been another thing that we've learned through the market research. So all last year we continued. In the meantime, we built the truck. This was Vinny on the inside. And then, weird serendipity of life, my other brother just happens to be in interior retail design, and he does really high-end stuff, and he's like, I'm too expensive, you can't afford me. And I'm like, okay. But then as our project evolved, my brother came on board, and that kind of just brought it all full circle as far as this like amazing Grasshopper journey. And he does an amazing job. So the interior retail is spectacular. So, I've had a lot of questions. Why not just buy from the artist direct? It can be hard to find them, all right? We come to you. That's the whole idea of the mobile boutique. We carefully curate the artisan collection. I make sure, this is Ella Zool's work, I'm wearing her earrings right now. She is an artist. She is an amazing silversmith. So we make sure that it's quality. If you go onto Etsy, you have no idea what you're gonna get, or if you try to go online, you have no idea what you're gonna get. And these artists are really trying to be an artist for their career, for their jobs. And then it's also creating this collective of artists to help support each other. It's really, like I said, with the night market, if one of the artists is at the night market, we talk with them. I have a skirt maker out of Appleton. I'm fine to sell it here, but I won't sell it up in Appleton. It's really about wanting to support them. And then we also help them by direct purchasing, so they're not just selling one earring at a time. I buy several pieces at a time to make sure it's worth their while as well as ours. So Vinny was ready in March, and we worked with a graphic design artist that does really cool graphic t-shirts out of Michigan, Blue Platypus. We really kind of pulled our whole concept of what the Midwest vibe with the Queen Anne's lace and all that kind of stuff. So Vinny was ready, but also during the year we had all these great connections, but we had some big roadblocks. One is the vending permit issues here in the city of Madison. I don't know if you guys read, we were in the Isthmus, and the rules have like evolved for food trucks, but they don't get me. I mean, they do get me. Megan, who is the in charge of vending, she gets me, but the rules go back to way back when there were peddlers, and I'm not a peddler, but it was to protect residents so that people weren't like, going to your door and knocking on your door and all that kind of stuff. So the rules right now are very specific, and I'm having great difficulty with the city as far as where I can be. So I've had to think creatively. I've been able to get zoning permits so that I can be at any special event. I can partner with businesses, and I can sell at private parties at homes or things like that. So we've had to think out of the box. I'm having to push Vinny's driving limits. I'm going all over the state now. But it's been innovative, and it's actually helped get the word out for the artists. So the reason I'm here this morning is to kind of think about needs and hopes. So my needs are seeking business partners for events. I really need, we were just at an event on West Wash, and it was at a Need to Breathe yoga event. And what's amazing is once I was at that event, we got on-street traffic. Well, it was incredible. Half of our customers that day were just people that were curious and came in and loved the truck. We would love until we can get this vending permit issue figured out so that I can park anywhere in Madison. We're looking for a potential permanent partner, a business partner. If I'm with a business partner and I'm on your parking lot, that's okay with the city. So I'm looking at that. And we're hoping for any kind of support if you know anyone at the city level to help the vending rules change. There was a big meeting in the winter that I went to help the vending rules change as far as the food trucks carts are evolving to wanting to have trucks. So it's more the space issue than what I'm doing. So that's what we're working on. So my goals this year are to spread the word, to have 1,000 followers. As of yesterday, I was up to almost 500, just in this last 6 months on Instagram, to grow my artists and business partners. So if you know any amazing artists that are working quietly, please let me know. And you can find me on grasshoppergoods.com. You can see on our website we have a calendar. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And on our website you can see the calendar. You can book the truck for an event. There's a lot of different options. So upcoming events, I'm going to be at Strong Women, Strong Coffee, which is a WIBIC event. It's a conversation, but then also an opportunity to buy. On the 8th, it's a double header. I'm not quite sure how we're going to coordinate this, but we've got the bodega and the night market, so that'll be a whole new challenge to set up and then run over to the night market. And then we're also one of the vendor sponsors for the Free to Be all-day event, yoga event. And then we'll be in Janesville on June 11th. These are just kind of the big highlighted ones. So thanks so much. And was there questions or?
Yeah, now we turn it over to the audience for Q&A. So ask away.
Yeah.
Can you describe your point of purchase experience, what it's like? I mean, is it just in the truck, or does it spill on sidewalk?
It spills outside, so it depends on the event. So I have a seat right here. I should show another picture, but there's we used to have a passenger seat here that my brother took out, and now it's actually a jump seat, kind of with a seatbelt for John, my creative director, and it's also a changing room. There's a changing room in the truck. So we use Shopify. It's all wireless. It's all on iPad. And generally, if it's small or whatever, I can check you out. I can check you out anywhere with my iPad. And then at the night market, we actually had 2 iPads, one inside, one outside. At the night market, we had a line, so we're trying to work on flow. People are a little afraid that, at first, if I go in, are you going to make me buy something? And can I get out? And so but then we have enough people that are curious. That they come in. And the other thing that we've been evolving to is we're really looking for we're looking for more unisex housewares and gifts and things like that, because we found guys are really excited about the truck. They want to know what's engine it, and all that kind of stuff. I'm all brand new. So they come in and they're really curious. So that's been a new, at first this was really about women and about, millennial women having this cool opportunity to shop. We've wanted to partner with people at lunch and things like that. So we're really flexible as far as how we can do that. As long as I have some internet or cell service, I can do it anywhere.
Do you have any type of educating the lurker who's half a block away type stuff that says, I'm thinking a pull-up banner or a sandwich board?
That's a great idea. I love that idea. I do have a sandwich board like this when I did pop-ups last year. I love that idea. We have a little sandwich board that says come on in, like outside the truck, but nothing like further away. I like that idea.
Well, I'm thinking of two dynamics. When I grew up in kind of semi-rural Indiana, the bookmobile would come through.
Right.
The second you saw it, it was like a bug zapper for kids.
Right.
It attracted from,
That's what I'm hoping.
And the other model would be the ice cream truck with a little bit of that too. So
I have cool music in the van, so you can hear. Yeah, so I have music inside and out. But what's really interesting is the roadblocks that we've had are weird. Just like at the yoga event that we had on West Wash. West Wash, you would never know it until you park your truck in front of West Wash. It's basically at an angle, so people were shopping like this, and then we had to stop. The wind was like, I don't know, it was like 35 miles an hour, so we had stuff flood. So it's always problem solving, which is sort of like teaching always. So I kind of feel like all my teaching skills come in handy because you're constantly problem solving. But it's hard to, that would be great to have, like, we're a block down. That's a great idea. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Where do you want to take this? I mean, are you going to stay with a single truck? Are you thinking of expanding in any way, franchising, whatever?
Doyen wants me to have 3 trucks in 3 years is what they wanted, so that was my goal. I really would, I was opposed to doing online, but I've had a lot of people wanting online, and now that the mission has really evolved to supporting makers and artists, I'm not opposed to getting more and more of our product online because it would support the artists in that way. So that's one aspect that we want to have more product online. There is an urgency to buy, so I don't want to lose that too much because but we need to evolve a little bit in that aspect. I would love to have more trucks. I have a couple, I've got friends and family that would love to drive the next truck. But I think until we have, the big goal right now is to, every city we go to has different regulations as far as vending. So it's become this huge Excel spreadsheet of like, you can go to Princeton, but only if you're at the Princeton flea market. You can, Fitchburg, love Fitchburg. They've been so opening to us. So I will like say, go to Fitchburg because they're awesome. Because the police are like, that's super cool. And I'm like, yay. It's once we figure out all those regulations, or if it's more like in other states, it's really a movement. I'd love it really to be accepted as a thing because it's a way for women in particular or small business people to really get started, because for me, to get started was still expensive, but it wasn't like having a bricks and mortar. So that's one, those are kind of my goals this year.
I'm still curious. I mean, there's things like Etsy out there. I mean, this is kind of like Etsy on wheels, I guess, in a more local sense. You got the art fairs and everything else. I mean, what is it you think that really differentiates you from all the other avenues that local artists have for
we carefully curate what we have. Like if you go onto Etsy, it'll take you days to find the right artists and all that kind of stuff. The other thing is it's really about supporting an artist community. We're having a newsletter now, so we have highlighted Tactile Craft. It's really creating a sense of community to support the artists. So I'm hoping that we can be a voice to support that. So it was really obvious to me when I went to the vending meeting, there's ways of doing business. You can either collaborate to encourage, like, let's have a big art fair where everybody can sell their stuff, or create more competition. And I feel like this opportunity creates more collaboration, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that it does that. Yeah.
So we've been lucky to have a close relationship with the Doyen Group. Could you say a little bit about, what the most interesting or useful experience in the Doyen program that you've had so far?
The retreat. The retreat was like life-changing. So they have a 3-day retreat, and I had worked on my business plan, like I said, since 2011, since the time that first Grasshopper started. But it was kind of all over the map, and I didn't have all the pieces that I needed for my business plan, and in particular, the right business plan to help me get my funding. So one event that happens at the retreat that was my favorite part, which was like super intense, was you almost have like a Match.com with at the retreat where you sit at a table and bankers come and legal comes and marketing people come, and you talk about your idea, and then they ask you questions, and they're like, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And that was how I was able to connect with finding funding. And then WIBIC also, and then the mentoring is amazing. Now I'm at the next level with Doyen. I'm in the founders group, and we all, all of you that are entrepreneurs know there's different stages of being an entrepreneur. Right now I'm drinking from the fire hose, and every day is like a different problem-solving situation. So to have mentoring of people that are like, it's okay. It's give it a day, give it a month. It's going to be okay. So that's been huge. That's been huge. Yeah.
Is there any exclusivity with the makers and artists? And then the second question with that is, would there be potential for them to be posting or utilizing their social media or following to promote your truck?
As far as exclusivity, do you mean am I the only person that has some of these stuff right now?
Correct.
So Ella Zool's earrings, she's traveling the world, so we worked with her to make a lot of her jewelry before she left, and we're the only one that's exclusive to her. She might be able to sell a little bit online. I don't know if it's a great business model or not, but I really am about supporting them, so we tag them in all posts. They get credit for everything. I just feel like it's the right thing to do. So people can buy from me or they can buy from them directly, but that's okay. I'm hoping if they come to me, they'll find other artists. So I'm not making anybody be exclusive with me, because then that's not going to help the artists like make a living, right? So I hope that pays off in the good karma of life, but I also think it does, because if you come to Grasshopper Goods, especially if we can get an online element, or if you come to the truck, you can see all the amazing potential in artists that we have in all different styles, right? So I think that helps, especially for jewelry. Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to if you went online with your goods, would there be maybe a way to do this that it's less expensive if you bought it at the truck versus buying it online or
That's
something?
a great idea.
I don't know. I'm just shooting off from the hip here.
No, this is why I'm here to get ideas. Like, that's a great idea.
The
I love
shipping
that.
alone, I think, would probably come into play there.
Well,
Right,
sure.
right,
But
right.
to make it a draw to actually go to your vehicle, because there's a reason.
I love
to go.
that idea. That's awesome.
Does the online part, would it help with winter? Like, what is?
Yeah, it would. I mean, I've got that issue coming up. So as far as a business plan, that's why I'm hoping to evolve, and especially for holiday season. I mean, this year I probably could have been out till the middle of December, but and I have air conditioning, and I have heat, and I have music, and so I mean, it really is. You can. What's great about some festivals, if it's pouring rain, you can be in the truck and it's okay. And we can't have as many people that we had at the night market, but we can have probably comfortably, you can have about 8 people at a time in there. That's the other thing, is trying to kind of move the flow. Sometimes when there's too many people at the night market, I think people are like, oh, there's too many people, and then they leave. So we got to kind of work on flow, but we're new shiny penny, so if there's a line outside the truck, I'm okay with that right now. So yeah.
Well, and that's why I often will ask people, what's your real product? And you might say earrings or whatever you've got on the truck. That's not your product, from my point of view. Your product is the excitement of discovery. And that's a premium experience. I wouldn't discount that at all, online or anything. Maybe there's a shipping thing you can do.
Okay.
But you exist in a premium space because you're providing value in terms of curation, in terms of discovery, in terms of the delight of stumbling on something. You got to be online, because I can't tell you how many art fairs I've been to where I walk away and then go, I should have bought that.
I know. Okay.
And I have no access to it. If you are Etsy, but a premium version of it because it's carefully curated and I can experience it firsthand, that's your product. So
Thank you.
You're a premium, not super premium.
Yeah.
Not Gucci
yeah.
premium.
Yeah, no. I mean, and it's, our price point is not Gucci. Our price point is, have you heard, there's the movement of I don't know if you've heard the movement of a capsule wardrobe. It's really about having a small collection of very nice things that are special things. So that's what I'm hoping. If you come in and you get a special, and I can tell you the story of every artist, every bracelet that I'm wearing, most of the pieces will get, I'll trust the artist, and they're all one of a kind. Like, the necklaces that we have, there's not like 3 duplicated ones. I know a lot of the millennials are really into all these Stitch Fix boxes and all that kind of stuff, and you like go to work and everybody's got the same scarf on, but you can have pride in that, this person, this person's from Oshkosh and they've been trying really hard, and she's like this amazing tactile artist. And so that's to me what's so exciting about it, and that's what kind of comes full circle with my career. My job is part of the reason I went this movement is my teaching is all online now. I went into education because it's about people and about connections, and so that's coming back around. And there's always a story, and there's always innovators, and people are doing such cool stuff. Like, it's just exciting. Yeah.
Before, when you said you're looking for like a permanent business partner,
Yes.
What does that look like? And
I just need a parking lot where I can be your buddy, and we're interested in, I would love a lot of people have said, where are you going to be next week or whatever. I just want like a Tuesday after, something that's not, because the festivals and the fairs are exciting and we do well, but first of all, a lot of the artists are at the festivals and fairs, so it doesn't help them sell their stuff more. But the other thing is, it gets really crowded. So, I want to be a place that you can pop in after work on your way home, and get a gift for a grad or a wedding gift or whatever, so people know where they can find me. And that was my original business plan, was that I would be, on Monroe Street on, Tuesdays from 6 to 9, and you could find me there. So, and then if it rained or if it was a bad day, you can follow us on GPS, and what's amazing with social media, the truck has moved and we're over at Hilldale or whatever. So, but Madison's been difficult as far as that's concerned. So I need to partner with somebody. Okay. Yeah.
So I'd say for business partners, what comes to mind is maybe looking directly to women-owned businesses. It seems like you would have a really strong repertoire with them there. Another thing, have you thought about looking to specifically target holiday type events? So I know a lot of men historically are very last minute, and you'll go by Target and there's 50 men in there trying to get a Valentine's Day gift. Have you thought about going to office parks on those types of days, and then they can just go in during their lunch break and find something that's a lot more unique?
That is part of my plan, but I have to have a business that is okay with that I can come. So, and be in a business parking lot. So I know for holidays that we did that. We Bloom Bake Shop was amazing. She saw me at Crescendo, and right before the holidays, she's like, we're super busy right the week before Christmas. Just, you want to come? And I'm like, yeah, I'll come. So we had all those last minute folks, and that was awesome. So, but we need a place to park.
Well, a question I have is QBE in Sun Prairie. It's a campus. It's not close. You can walking distance to Walgreens, but that's about it.
Sun Prairie is actually good, friendly for us too. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
But I'm wondering at QBE, would you talk to HR about trying to get a gig there where every Wednesday or every fourth Wednesday you're there from noon to 1:30 or something?
That would be great if anybody has a connection there. We've tried to get into Epic, but they're hard to get into. We can't even kind of get past the...
How about American Family?
Yeah, we got front space over there, yeah. American Family, also similar. They don't let, actually my insurance agent is American Family, so I tried to work with him because he got all my liability insurance for me, and he's like, yeah.
How about Promega? Because they've got that farmer's market.
Haven't tried that.
I think University Research Park is trying to get people out there, and they're actively courting food carts.
And actually, you know what, my doctor's out there, and she's a women-owned business, so I should talk to them. That's a great idea. Okay, we got other, yeah. Okay.
With your family and automotive background, I know some of the automotive dealers try to do a boutique type experience.
That's a great idea.
So you might want to, next time they have a sales event, you might say, oh, can I?
Yeah, especially if it's a Chevy, right? I'm a Chevy, so yeah. That's a great idea. Thank you. that. Do we have any more?
I think if you can stick around for a couple.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for all the feedback. I really appreciate it. So.